JEYUSO just made the worst decision of his life. GUSO saved Roman Reigns last night, and it's the most infuriating, most frustrating, most heartbreaking display of misplaced loyalty I've witnessed in wrestling. After years of Roman manipulating him, abusing him, treating him like disposable muscle rather than family, G threw himself in front of Brock Lesnar's assault to protect a man who has never protected him, has never appreciated him, and will never change no matter how many times G proves his loyalty. Brock Lesnar was delivering the beating that Roman Reigns has deserved for 4 straight years of narcissistic tyranny. Every suplex was karma. Every brutal strike was justice. Every moment of Roman screaming in pain was the universe finally balancing the scales for all the people Roman has destroyed to maintain his grip on power. And G, beautiful, damaged, conditioned G, stopped it because he's been so thoroughly brainwashed by Roman's manipulation that he can't recognize when someone is getting exactly what they earned. This isn't heroism. This is Stockholm Syndrome disguised as family loyalty. And the fact that WWE is presenting G's sacrifice as noble rather than tragic proves they don't understand or don't care about the toxic family dynamics they've been glorifying for years through the Bloodline storyline. Smash that like button and subscribe to Wrestling News CC because I'm about to expose why G saving Roman is actually the saddest moment of this entire saga, why Brock's attack was completely justified, and why this moment proves the Bloodline storyline has become an abusive relationship that WWE keeps romanticizing instead of condemning. Let me paint the full picture of what happened because the context makes G's decision even more devastating. Raw opens with Roman cutting his typical arrogant promo about being untouchable, about the Bloodline's eternal dominance, about how nobody in WWE can challenge his position as tribal chief. The usual narcissistic garbage we've endured for 4 years. But Roman makes a fatal mistake. He starts mocking Brock Lesnar, calling him washed up, past his prime, embarrassed at the Royal Rumble, irrelevant in modern WWE. Roman's laughing, the Bloodline members are laughing, and the disrespect is dripping from every word. Then Brock's music hits. The crowd explodes because they know what's coming. Brock walks out with murder in his eyes, not the showman Brock who bounces and smiles, but the legitimate fighter who's ended careers and doesn't tolerate disrespect from anyone, let alone someone who's hidden behind numbers advantages his entire reign. The Bloodline tries to protect Roman's solo sicko, Tama Tonga Loa form a barrier, but Brock goes through them like they're nothing. F5 to solo. Both Tongans thrown over the top rope. In seconds, Roman's protection is gone and he's face to face with the monster he just provoked. What follows is 10 minutes of the most brutal assault WWE has shown in years. Brock doesn't just beat Roman, he destroys him. Suplex after suplex, each one more vicious than the last. Roman's ribs are cracking. His face is a mask of pain. He can't defend himself, can't escape, can't do anything except experience the consequences of his arrogance. And the crowd? They're cheering. Not because they're bloodthirsty savages, but because after 4 years of Roman's insufferable character, this feels like justice. This feels like the universe finally holding Roman accountable for treating everyone around him like property. Brock lifts Roman for what looks like the 7th suplex when suddenly GUSO sprints down the ramp. The music doesn't even play. G just runs because he can't stand watching even his abuser get hurt. And the look on his face is what breaks my heart, pure anguish, because part of him wants Roman to suffer, but his conditioning won't let him stand by. G slides into the ring and gets between Brock and Roman. He's not attacking Brock. G's not stupid enough to fight the beast. He's just standing there, arms spread, begging Brock to stop. And you can see the conflict written across his face, the war between what Roman deserves and what G's twisted sense of family loyalty demands. Brock stares at G. For a moment, it seems like Brock might go through him to finish Roman. But then something shifts in Brock's expression, maybe respect for G's courage, maybe recognition that G's been a victim of Roman's abuse too. Whatever it is, Brock backs away, gives G one last look, and leaves the ring. Roman is destroyed, broken ribs, possible concussion, injuries that will sideline him for weeks. And G's standing over Roman's broken body with the most complex expression, relief that he stopped the attack mixed with resentment that he had to save someone who's never saved him. Here's why this moment is so infuriating and sad. GUSO has been Roman's victim for years. Let me remind you of just some of what Roman has put G through, forced G to choose between family loyalty and his own dignity multiple times, made G compete in matches where losing meant being kicked out of the Bloodline, blamed G for losses that weren't his fault, publicly humiliated G to assert dominance, treated G like a servant rather than an equal family member, manipulated G's emotions by alternating between affection and cruelty. This is textbook abusive relationship behavior. And what does G do when given the perfect opportunity to let Roman face consequences? He saves him. He protects him. He proves that Roman's psychological manipulation has been so effective that G can't even recognize when Roman is getting exactly what he deserves. That's not beautiful family loyalty. That's tragic conditioning. And WWE presenting this as G being the bigger person is disgusting because it normalizes staying in abusive relationships out of misplaced obligation. Let's talk about what this moment reveals about the Bloodline storyline's fundamental problem. WWE has spent years building Roman as this abusive patriarch while simultaneously trying to make audiences admire his leadership. They want us to see the Bloodline as a powerful family unit while showing us textbook psychological abuse. They present Roman's manipulation as strength when it's actually toxicity. And moments like G saving Roman perpetuate this dangerous message that abuse victims should prioritize their abuser's well-being over their own healing. That family loyalty means accepting mistreatment. That the noble thing is to protect people who've never protected you. That's not wrestling storytelling. That's harmful messaging that affects real people in real abusive family situations who might internalize the idea that they should be like G and sacrifice themselves for people who don't deserve it. The locker room reaction to this segment is reportedly divided. Some wrestlers think it was powerful storytelling that sets up G's eventual rebellion. Others are uncomfortable with how WWE keeps glorifying Roman's abuse while positioning G's enabling as heroic. I'm in the second camp. Because here's what's going to happen next. Roman will use this. He'll twist G, saving him into proof that G belongs to Roman, that G's loyalty is confirmed, that this validates everything Roman has done to maintain control over his family. And G damaged, conditioned G will probably accept that narrative because he doesn't know how to exist outside Roman's manipulation anymore. That's not storytelling that builds to satisfying payoff. That's a cycle of abuse that WWE keeps perpetuating because they don't know how to end the Bloodline storyline without admitting that Roman's character has been toxic the entire time. Here's what should happen now. G should have an awakening. He should realize that saving Roman doesn't obligate him to continue being Roman's victim. He should confront Roman and say, I saved you because I'm a better man than you've ever been. But that doesn't mean I'm yours anymore. I'm done being your property. That would be powerful character development. That would transform G's decision from tragic enabling into the catalyst for his liberation. That would give this moment meaning beyond just protecting Roman for another day. But I'm terrified that WWE will take the opposite path, having Roman manipulate G into believing this proves their bond and that G should be grateful for the privilege of serving the tribal chief. Brock's attack itself was perfect before G intervened. It was the consequences Roman has been avoiding catching up with him. It was karma for years of hiding behind the Bloodline, for treating people as disposable, for believing his position made him untouchable. And it should have continued. Roman should have been beaten so thoroughly that he's forced to take time off, reflect on his behavior, and return changed, either humbled or even more vengeful, but at least different because of facing real consequences. Instead, G's intervention means Roman gets saved before the lesson fully lands. He'll recover, spin this as even my enemies know I'm too important to eliminate, and continue the same character we've been watching for 4 years. That's not evolution. That's stagnation disguised as drama. My prediction? Roman manipulates this situation to tighten his control over G. Maybe he even blames G for taking away his opportunity to prove himself against Brock or some other gaslighting nonsense. The cycle of abuse continues for another 6 months until WrestleMania, when maybe WWE finally lets G break free. But that's 6 more months of glorifying toxic family dynamics. 6 more months of viewers watching abusive behavior get rewarded. 6 more months of missed opportunities to tell a story about breaking free from manipulation instead of succumbing to it. Drop your thoughts. Should G have saved Roman or let the beating continue? Is this family loyalty or Stockholm Syndrome? And how much longer will WWE keep glorifying Roman's abusive behavior before they admit it's toxic? Comments below, because this might be the most controversial take on this segment. This is Wrestling News CC, where we call out problematic storytelling even when it's presented as heroic. Subscribe for analysis that recognizes when wrestling storylines perpetuate harmful messages about abuse and family dynamics. GUSO saved Roman Reigns. Brock Lesnar's justified assault was stopped. And the Bloodline cycle of abuse continues because WWE would rather maintain their profitable storyline than tell a story about breaking free from toxicity. G deserves better than being Roman's eternal victim. And wrestling fans deserve better than watching abuse get romanticized as complicated family dynamics. This isn't beautiful. It's tragic. And until WWE recognizes that, the Bloodline storyline will continue being harmful no matter how many epic moments it produces.